Hi, I'm Debbie Hutson, and my topic is mandatory drug testing in schools. Studies conducted by the Monitoring the Future program in relation to the National Center for Education Evaluation show that an estimated 50% of high school seniors reported having used an illicit drug at least once in their lifetime. Over 35% of these students identified marijuana as the drug that they used within the last year. These statistics also demonstrate an increase in the abuse and misuse of prescription drugs, showing that 7.4% of 12th graders reported non-medical use of Adderall in 2013. While drug use has dropped significantly since 2001, a 2013 study of students in grades 8, 10, and 12 discovered an increase over the last several years thought to have been caused by increased marijuana use. These numbers shed light on a need to be proactive in our schools in order to provide our students with an atmosphere conducive to learning, not drug use. Based on a 2008 report by the Student Drug Testing Coalition, approximately 16.5% of U.S. school districts participate in random student drug testing programs. Mandatory drug testing programs should be implemented in all schools based on identified benefits that include deterring substance abuse, detecting substance abuse, and by having spillover effects on peers. As an educator and a parent, I support mandatory drug testing programs and plan to encourage the implementation of these programs in schools across Texas. According to the Drug Free America Foundation, random drug testing applies only to those students who are involved in extracurricular activities and is considered a deterrent. Without mandatory drug testing programs, students in leadership positions will not receive consequences for behavior that is unacceptable both in a school setting and in their future workplace. The early identification of substance abuse problems tied to these programs will not be available to a vulnerable population, leaving them at risk for addiction, and illicit substance abuse will continue to spread through our schools, hindering students' academic successes and creating a volatile learning environment. With this in mind, it is important to remember that the implementation of a mandatory drug testing program cannot stand alone. The National Institute on Drug Abuse suggests that these programs should be a component of broader prevention, intervention, and treatment programs with a common goal of reducing student drug use. Those against mandatory drug testing programs cite an invasion of privacy or lack of school resources to fund such programs. However, Drug Free America suggests that most people will experience drug testing at some point in their life, whether in a school setting or in the workplace. Students who are asked to complete the drug test will be asked to do so in a private setting with schools following basic drug testing protocols and procedures. Drug testing is a proven and proactive way to prevent illicit drug use. NBC News reported that after two Supreme Court decisions upholding the constitutionality of random drug testing and an increase in funding by the Bush administration to administer urine tests, more schools across the nation are starting to consider this as a feasible method to convey an anti-drug message. These programs will provide students with an opportunity to just say no while allowing schools to deter other students by testing a portion of the student population. Drug testing is cost efficient, and most schools receive federal grant money to fund such programs. Student drug testing also complements an already existing student assistance program. Mandatory drug testing programs are not only cost efficient, but an essential part of a successful school experience for our youth. The numbers related to drug abuse in our schools will decrease with the implementation of mandatory drug testing programs. These programs will allow our students to attend school in a drug-free environment while providing them with an opportunity to preserve their health and future. Students deserve the opportunity to be engulfed in a positive learning environment that's not only conducive to learning, but provides them with the ability to protect their future. Mandatory drug testing programs provide students with many resources to abstain from illicit drug use. By implementing these programs in schools across the state, we are supporting our students and showing them that their success does matter. We expect our students to make the right decisions regarding drug use, but are not providing them with enough resources to explain what the right choice is. Mandatory drug testing programs will give them so much more. Statistics show an increase in both illicit and prescription drug use among middle school and high school students. StudentDrugTesting.org recently quoted Educating Voices Incorporated in saying that drug use is compromising our academic success in our U.S. schools and is undermining our ability to compete on a world stage. Mandatory drug testing programs will not only combat this growing number, but will continue to fight what some consider a drug epidemic. Over 50% of high school seniors have reported using an illicit substance at least once in their lifetime. One time is too many. Youth become more easily addicted than adults and face a tougher recovery. Mandatory drug testing programs deter and detect substance abuse problems and have a spillover effect on students who observe and are affected by their peers' behavior. We need to support our students and show them that they matter. If this program can prevent at least one student from living a life of addiction and facing the consequences of that addiction, then it is worth the fight and worth every dollar we spend. Thank you.